or somebody that she cares about. She is a victim in all of this. Throughout her life, there's constantly been forces that have just been against her, that have been trying to silence her, that's been trying to make her life miserable. And this book definitely fleshes that out. And you definitely root for her character because, again, despite the fact that she is an asshole, there is a lot of people that want this girl dead or hurt that she has practically done nothing to, but they all set their eyes on her. And it's a great, again, I really appreciate the writing. I think it's really good. I think it's really meaningful. I think the tone is different, but sometimes you don't need to maintain the same aggressive tone throughout the entire series, especially with so many different gears going on, so many different subplots going on. Now, I will say this: I don't like. I will say that some of the characters that I do, I've kind of grown to like more and more throughout the series. I do feel like they do take a bit more of a step back because they're introducing more characters, but not in a bad way. The characters are still pretty relevant, and I do like what they do contribute. One of my absolute favorite characters as well is, what was her name? It was Mikhail's sister, Anika Gianni. Great character. I really appreciate her and how she helps Lisbeth. And she's one of the few characters I can say that Lisbeth has to that generally shows respect to. And I do like that. I really, really like her character. I would love to see more of her character because she's just awesome. But great read. To me, it's actually a really good ending to the trilogy before they put more into it. But as the conclusion, it works really good. So I really like it. I really do like it. It's a really good read. Now, for the fourth installment, and then this is where David Lancrantz, I'm butchering that name. I'm butchering that name. David Lancrantz. Let me see how. Let me just ask this. David Lagerkrantz. I was close. Now, again, he ended up picking up on the fourth book after Stieg Larsson passed away in 2004. So, in this story, it picks up when Bloomfist ends up receiving a phone call from a source who has been in contact with super hacker Elizabeth Salander over sensitive information that could potentially benefit the United States of America. However, that source gets killed, and Salander ends up saving the source's son named August Balder, only to be pursued by a mysterious organization called the Spider Society and the mysterious figure behind it. And now, again, I watched the movie in the Spider's Web. I actually like the movie. I'm like one of like five people that actually like the movie. As a action thriller movie, it's decent. I give it a 3 out of 5. I really like it. I really like it. The connection it has to the book is damn near none. The only thing that it has to the book is pretty much Elizabeth in the damn movie trying to protect this little boy from the Spider Society. And the introduction to one of my favorite characters as well, her sister Camilla, who they end up hinting at in the other books, but really never really get to see until now. She's a great antagonistic force, and because there's so much emotional buildup behind that character and the animosity that she has with Lisbeth, this story feels so personal, despite the large stakes that's going on. It's really good read. I think Lagerkrantz does a pretty good job of picking up where Larson left off. I think he does a good enough job with the writing style as well as the research and the incredibly detailed um, writing that he does, that it actually feels almost seamless. Yeah, there are some slight differences, whether it's between how characters conversate, how characters do react to certain things. Some writing choices, some bit of the direction. You could say it's more action oriented in a way, which kind of changes the flow from the previous books, but it's still a really good read, and I think it fits well enough in the story to actually make it feel seamless. Uh, I really enjoy. I think it's a really good read. I think it's a really good step in the next direction because in the previous books you realize there's such a personal connection with Lisbeth's character that this feels like it doesn't feel out of place. But it's actually a really good read. I really like the direction of it. I like the writing. It does have some pretty cool moments in it, and that one is The Girl in the Spider's Web. Now for the fifth book, The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye. This one feels like the Dragon Girl, the Dragon Tattoo, where it's not really a major part of the overarching plot of the entire series. It feels much more like a standalone. And the story picks up with Lisbeth having to serve 2 months jail sentence for the crime she committed in the previous book for protecting August Balder, while Mikael Bloomfist is investigating a mysterious organization known as the Registry that experiments on children and definitely has its hooks in what happened to Lisbeth when she was a kid. So again, this one feels kind of like in the hornet's nest a little bit because of there's this mysterious organization that's been manipulating certain events and everything, but this one goes even further back into the past, and it does connect a lot of dots of who these key players are that helped do this to Lisbeth and why they did it and what's going on. They're still doing it and things like that, and hurts and them basically trying to stop it. But there also is a really cool story that, despite them having to do a deal with the registry, there is this cool subplot with Lisbeth having to save this girl named Ferrari, Farah. I think it's Farah. I always mess this girl's name up, even though I've heard it like 100 times. Faria Kasi. And in prison, while she's in prison, of course she's in prison, and you get to see prison life and everything. The spiders are still out to get her. She's not safe in prison, so that's one enemy she has to keep constantly looking out. And then she ends up having to bump into a new enemy, this chick named Benito, who's just this chick just wilding out. She's just a wilding out beast, and everybody's afraid of her. And she's got all of these connections, so she's basically if you get targeted by her, she's coming for you in some kind of capacity. I did like that storyline. I think it was really cool. And again, it kind of goes into this whole thing of yes, they're Michaela and her are looking into the registry, but she has this other story to deal with. And now the story does go into Faria's, getting to her head. You see what she has to deal with. And again, this is one of those moments where she's an interesting character. She's a likable character. She has an interesting story about what happened between her and her family and what led her to jail and what's been happening to her while she's been in prison. So she's actually a really good character. And again, as much as I like these new characters, I still would like a bit more from the old characters as well. And they do have their moments here and there, but you don't really get to see them. And again, as I stated before, Erica Berger is one of my favorite characters. And I want to see her presence more and more in this. But we have to make room for new characters. It happened in The Girl in the Spider's Web. It happened definitely in the Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Now that one introduced so many new characters. It was just crazy. But this one I think is actually pretty good. I did like Faria. I did like her story, and I did feel sorry for her. And I like just how she got caught up in all of this crazy stuff. She feels when reading this book, it feels like Lisbeth is reaching back and attempting to save herself because Faria is in a similar situation where she's just this young woman that these major forces are conspiring against her to make her life a living hell. So I really did like the story. Did like the villains in it. Honestly, the other two, Khalil and Bashir, take them or leave them. I didn't really care. I really liked Benito's character, maybe because she had more presence in the story. That I actually liked her as a antagonist. I thought she was actually pretty cool. And even with the registry, I think that was actually a really, really, really cool concept to get with and to go on, because and one thing that they do establish in the stories is that her family is very exceptional in a lot of things, and each family member seems to have something exceptional about it. And I like that. I like that they're showing that people will try to use kids as like weapons and stuff like that, and try to train them and put them all this crazy stuff. So it's cool. It's cool. I like that in these books. So that I've been in this series, a lot of the angst that you see is women, hatred towards women and abuse towards women are also abuse against kids. And you get to see that in these books. I like that underlying theme. And a lot of corruption as well. Fuck ton of corruption. But it was Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye is a good read. I really enjoyed it. And the final book, The Girl Who Lived Twice, which is ultimately the conclusion between the final battle between Lisbeth and her sister Camilla. I don't know why I just said that, because the story picks up with Lisbeth confronting her past as well as doing whatever she can to stop and expose the spider society. However, Lisbeth isn't the only one on the hunt, and her sister Camilla proves that she would do anything to find Lisbeth. At the same time, Bloomfist is investigating the death of a homeless man with a secret tied to the minister. Now, this book was a bit slow with the Bloomfist story. And at first I really didn't, I was like, okay, it's not really going very interesting. But generally, again, it ties back into this mystery. As this mystery is unfolding with him, I'm like, damn, that's some deep stuff. It got really interesting, and introduced some pretty cool characters and some really interesting situations. There's these group of people that end up going on the mountain. There's this this murder cover up that happened. It's just not really a murder. It was a death that got covered up, and it kept going in some really interesting directions. When it started getting its foot in, I was like, okay, oh shit, that happened, damn. So I was interested in that, and again, it helped tie things over, of course, and just really neat bow. And just ultimately, this cat and mouse game between Camilla and Elizabeth is basically what you really want to see in this. But just reading that was actually pretty good too. So I will say that I did like Bloomfist's story in this as well. That investigation, and I think that investigation kind of harkens back to the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, so it helped solidify it a bit more. But again, ultimately, it is this showdown between these two characters, and honestly, that last act was just crazy. It was action packed. There was a lot of stakes. It came to a really, really satisfying conclusion. I really enjoyed it. There are some interesting characters, and again, I do like the writing. Slightly different from Larson, not enough to be a distraction. It did a great job with that. So those books are absolutely awesome. Now I'm going to rank them. Now I don't really see them as like worst to best, and I really don't see weakest to strongest. I will say not really weakest. I don't know. I guess weakest to strongest would be it, even though I don't really think they're like weak like that. Well, anyways, it would be The Girl Who Played with Fire, the number 6. Number 5 would be The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. Number 4 would be The Girl Who Takes an Eye for an Eye. Number 3 would be The Girl in the Spider's Web. Number 2 would be The Girl Who Lived Twice. And number 1 would be The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. That's how I would rank them. I think they're exceptionally good books. And I'm not, again, it's kind of hard for me because I'm not that guy that's like, okay, this movie's bad and this was good or anything like that. The series is mostly like they're all on the same line. They just have each one just have different things that make them unique from the other. But I still really ultimately enjoyed the series. Now, I did come up with a top 10 list of characters that I really, really enjoyed. And I started to come up with a top 10 list of best moments, but I don't think I actually finished it. So I'm going to try to come off the dome with some of my favorite moments in this book. So let's have at it. Now, number one, obviously, is Lisbeth Salander. I really like her character. I think she's interesting. She's very much the tragic hero of the story. She has so much trauma in her past that it's just fucking stupid. And she just has so many people against her. And I even, in the books, they even mentioned that all of these people are against her for no reason. So really like her character. She's definitely one of my favorite female characters, if not one of my favorite characters, or not if not as well as one of my favorite characters, like in books. So I really, really enjoy her. Coming up number two, of course, Mikael Bloomfist. I didn't think I liked his character. Really enjoyed his character. I really liked his character. The man is absolutely smart. He's brilliant. I love the chemistry between these two. I love that these two have so many differences that complement each other. And I love that they have this like love-hate relationship with one another, but ultimately they care for one another, they're loyal to one another, and they're just absolutely great together. Mikael Bloomfist, dude's really resourceful, really smart, really passionate, and he has that drive. He's got that juice, and I like that about his character so damn much. When he gets the trail and he goes on a hunt, he's on it, and I love that about his character. So Bloomfist, bam, really good guy. Again, I have to say, Erica Berger, one of my favorite characters. She is the editor in chief of Millennium, which is the magazine that Bloomfist is a journalist for. And I really like Berger. Again, she's smart. She's resourceful. She's one of the strongest women in terms of character in the series. She's very grounded. She's level-headed. She's one of my favorite characters. Has really good moments. Has really good dialogue. Has really good insight. And I love the business aspect of Millennium, which she does a great job of handling, as well as again with Bloomfist. I really like their relationship as well, and she is his rock as well as her being him being her rock. So I really enjoyed her character as well. Coming in next with will be Dragon Armansky. Now Armansky is the CEO, founder, the head of uh, the security firm that Lisbeth initially is working for. And again, I like his character. I like his devotion that he has to Elizabeth. He kind of reminds me of Bloomfist in that way, in which he isn't necessarily her friend, but he has a strong conviction when it comes to her innocence. And he does really, really care for the character. I like that the man is compassionate. He's level-headed, though. He's strong. He's firm, but he has a really soft side to him, and I really appreciate that about his character. And especially in the story, and you see how many people are pretty much assholes, especially to her character. It's nice to see a character actually be genuine with her, care about her, and stuff like that, without just being overly an asshole to her. So I like Armansky, and especially when things start to get a bit more heavy, what he puts on the line for her, and I really thumbs up to him for that. Thumbs up. I'm got to stutter. But also coming in at number five, Camilla. I like Camilla. I like her. She's manipulative. She's a bitch, But and like Lisbeth, she has a tragic past as well that helped form her personality, and it's through the mutual mistreatment of their father that ultimately broke those two up from each other and ultimately made them to who they are. And I like her because she's just as tragic a character as Lisbeth is, despite the fact that she's actually just this terrorist. And I like that. I like that she also has insecurities. I like that she does feel grounded as well. one of the things that they absolutely push in the story is, while Lisbeth is exceptionally smart, Ronald is exceptionally strong, Camille is exceptionally beautiful, and all three of them, these characters, utilize their specific skill sets to achieve quite a lot. So Camille might not be as smart as Lisbeth, but she is manipulative, she is sneaky, she's resourceful, and she will use her beauty in a second to get what she wants. And she does not give a damn about nobody else. So I really do like her character. And I love female villains that are able to use their beauty, their sexuality, and to be able to coerce and to manipulate other people and to get what they want. I like that because it's not the whole man China feminist crap that's going on. It's actually her utilizing her skill set and talents and beauty and what she has to make herself to make herself compete, I guess you could say. And if you can do that and you could be this super villain like she is, then hell yeah, all for her. So I like Camilla. Uh, Again, I had said number 6, Anika Gianni, who is Bloomfist's sister, who's a lawyer. I think she's a lawyer for something else, but she ends up representing Lisbeth in The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. And I really like her character.